Hello everybody, Connor Franks here from Team Venom Media, and welcome to a special episode of Talking Trash with Team Venom. And with a special episode comes a very special guest. Ladies and gentlemen, XDivision champion Rohit Raju, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, if we're talking trash, we got to do it right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the jaw-jacking Tuesday Night Impact, and his mother called him son because he shines like one. Mocha Skin Manimal, current X-Division champion, Rohit Raju.
That was beautiful. I'm gonna be upset if I don't hear that as the ring announcer say that every time you walk to the ring now.
Yeah, they should have given me the microphone and let me say it. So.
Okay, well, I think it's only appropriate to start with your big win, capturing the X-Division Championship on night one of Emergence. You could see the emotions and the importance of the win on your face. Talk me through how it felt leading to that moment, and of course the amazing moment itself.
Well, when I first learned of, hey, you're the X-Division champion, I honestly thought it was a rib. I didn't think it was real. I was like, oh, they're ribbing me. They're trying to mess with me. Because for the longest time, the narrative was, Rohit is a bottom guy. You know what I mean? I was never that guy. I was always just a background guy. I was always just a workhorse. And I didn't think like, I figured maybe they just don't see what I think I am worth. And then now they're giving me that ball, and they're saying, okay, let's see what you got, run with it. So it was one of the best feelings, and leading up to it, it was almost like a dream. Like you didn't think it was real, you didn't think it was going to happen, and then it finally happens, and that bell rang, that 1, 2, 3 hit, and I had the belt in my hand, and that was real emotion. That was real. That was, I was so overwhelmed. And when I got backstage, I saw, I could tell the roster was there congratulating me and stuff, and that didn't even feel real. Like I wish I could relive that because it didn't feel real because I was up on such a cloud that it was amazing. So, and it still doesn't. Like I get to do all this media, and it's what you work for. You go into professional wrestling trying to be a star. At least that's what I was always taught. Like, hey, if you don't want to be on top, then why are you here? I've always wanted to be on top. And now I'm finally getting a chance to show people that what I always like to say is that I deserve my seat at the big table. And now I don't want to give up my seat at the big table because all the food at the big table tastes great, tastes better than all the other food, all the little scraps that I was getting. So I don't want to give up my seat. So now it just makes me want to work even harder to hold on to this belt and keep my spot because I love everything that comes with it. They say, oh, you're not going to like it because there's so much more responsibility. Give me that responsibility. I live for that responsibility. That's what I want.
Well, now that you've got a seat at the big table, you've got the responsibility, you're up there. You're known as being part of the Desi Hit Squad, but now that you're the X-Division champion, is there anyone on Rohit's hit list?
Well, if we're talking about paybacks, there's a whole roster full of Impact people that's been kicking my butt for the past almost 3 years. So any of the rascals, I owe him a punch in the face. But I never had a singles match with Dez yet. My matches with Trey and Dak, I thought were awesome matches, really good. Showed that I can, tear it up. Obviously, you got Chris Bay and TJP. They're lurking around always, they're like buzzards right now. I'm trying to pick apart my bones. But I always say Cousin Jake. I think Cousin Jake's one of the most underrated wrestlers in Impact. If you ever watch his indie stuff as Jake something, he is like amazing.
He really is.
And him and I have a long history, so I would love to bring that history to Impact and show that us in the ring that we can shine. I would love to get him in a singles match in Impact Wrestling, especially defending my X-Division title. Oh, then of course beating him and retaining my X-Division title. But still, I would love to wrestle him. I think that'd be awesome.
It would be awesome. Follow both of your careers on the indies, and you two on the Impact stage would burn the house down.
Yeah.
Since Slammiversary and Emergence, Impact has got some new eyes on the product, and deservedly so. What do you think Impact has that continuously brings new eyes to the product?
Well, I think we try to stay innovative. for one, but we also keep it professional wrestling. That's what a lot of people, they forget, you know. They're like, whoa, you always watch some stuff, and everyone's always trying to catch that trend. Well, we didn't try to catch a trend. We tried to be innovative and had the first female world champion, you know, in any division. And then we had the Wrestle House. And then we showed that guys that people didn't think were great or weren't getting your talent utilized, we brought them back home and said, all right, show everybody that you're a star. And then we welcome these other new guys and say, hey, show everybody that you're a star. And they're showing people that this is why we're good. This is why we are superstars. We just weren't being able to show you that. And we stay, our roster is hungry. Look at the guys that we have in our roster. Look at the guys that left our roster and became, you know, I don't want to say bigger stars, but, you know, they kept their name going. They were doing all of that here at Impact. So we have not only a great roster, we have a great product. And I don't think a lot of people want to give us that credit. And that honestly irks me. It irks me when I listen to podcasts when people don't want to talk about Impact. You know what I mean? They'll talk about what happened Monday, or they'll talk about what happened Wednesday, but they don't want to talk about the great show that we put on Tuesday. That bugs me so much. But you have these dirt sheets or these mags or whatever, and they never want to talk about how good Impact's doing. We're not the same company we were years ago. We were ran by totally different people. We have a whole new hungry roster. We keep on getting hungrier people in here, and we're doing great things. But for whatever reason, you know, it's almost like this, it feels elitist where people don't want to let us at the top. And I think we've been proving that we can be at the top, but no one just wants to let us in. They want to keep those doors closed against us. Well, as of late, I feel like we've been kicking down doors. So, and I said this before, you can go on the Impact Plus app and look up all of our history and see how great it is, and then look up all the stuff that we're doing now, and in my opinion, it trumps a lot of that. So people just need to give us that, give us our go.
I agree 100%. Everybody here at Team Venom, we have an entire podcast dedicated to, you know, talking about the latest episode of Impact. And we've said week in, week out that Impact is the only show that has made us care about every single division on the show.
Right.
And it's amazing. It's my favourite personal product out there. But you're right, and the new and old UK fans can watch Impact Wrestling for free on the Impact Plus app, as the show is part of the free tier. So if you don't already, you certainly should check it out. Now, since capturing the XDivision title, you've become BFFs with the championship, asking your Twitter followers what you should call the title. I love this kind of thing. Is this the kind of thing you want to, like, keep doing going forward?
Yeah, man. Nobody else is doing stuff like that. I need to stand out as champion. And that was one way that, this was all my idea, you know what I mean? I was like, what can I do? And so I kind of reinvented my look. If, you know, a champion needs new sweet clothes, so now I'm rocking the expensive shirts and slacks with the shades to look like a champion, carry myself as a champion. And, of course, my new BFF, the fans named them Rex. It's Raju plus XDivision, so R.A.X. So, yeah, but we're, myself and the XDivision title, we're BFFs, and I think it's something different, and it also shows how important it is to, you know, for me to be the XDivision champion, and I would love for this to keep going. It's me and my best friend, man, hanging out, enjoying life right now.
Definitely. You have such a positive group of fans behind you, almost like a cult following. When you achieve something such as, you know, capturing the XDivision title, does it feel like a way to thank your fans for being behind you for so long?
You know, it's growing, and I do say I'm not the most over guy in professional wrestling. I have not mastered social media. I don't have any cool highlight reels or tips that people that promote me. You know what I mean? That all of a sudden make me the greatest professional wrestler on earth. I'm just very old school. Give me a microphone and let me tell my story in the ring. But I do have that fan base, and it has started to grow, and they have started to notice my talent, and they have started to notice that, okay, this guy's not being used correctly, or he's eating a lot of crap. And then, boom, boom, out of nowhere, XDivision champion. And I always try to keep in contact with my fans. I try to respond to them and stuff like that because it is important for me. Like, you're not going to get anywhere. I could sit here and be like, hey, how come you guys don't do this with me? Or, hey, I want to do this. But if the fans say that and you get that fan base, you get that pile of people behind you, then people start to listen, and then people start to realize, and then other people that were ignoring you forever start to recognize, whoa, there's something going on with this guy. And I appreciate that. I honestly appreciate all my fans that do care, that want to buy merch, that do support, and that do speak out when they feel like I'm being treated unjust or anything of that nature. So it makes me feel good. And it's funny, too, because I'm this horrible, devious POS on television, but, you know, the fans still dig it and they still try to support me. So it means a lot. It honestly does. And I do appreciate my small but great growing fan base.
You said earlier, Impact's not the company it was, and I think that's because Impact know how to evolve as a company, and also their talent also knows how to evolve and how to keep things new and fresh. What kind of thing can we expect from Rohit Raju's character evolving? We've already seen the expensive shirts. We've seen the champion attitude. Is there anything in particular you want to try that's new?
I would honestly, sooner or later, love to, because right now I compare myself to, like, Emperor Palpatine. I'm trying to, if anyone's a Star Wars fan out there, if you know me, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I'm trying to manipulate other people into fighting my battles or beating themselves up, and then I come in and take the scraps. I take the scraps. Pretty much that's what Rohit is right now. He's going to do whatever it takes to keep this XDivision title. You know, he knows he doesn't know if he'll ever get another shot at it, so he has to, instead of working hard like he did all those years, now he has to work smart. Now he has to play the game of chess instead of playing a game of checkers. And it's starting to work out for him, and he realizes this. Sooner or later, though, I would like to show my serious side. If anyone's ever seen some of my indie work, especially at AEW in Chicago, I have this huge chip on my shoulder. And I feel like I can do that. I started to for a little bit, and then they pulled it back, and they went in a different direction with me. But I think I can really be like this very angry, bitter professional wrestler that thinks the world has done him wrong. And instead of translating it into a more cowardly way, which is always very entertaining, I can also translate that into a, I guess you could say, like a force to be reckoned with that is so bitter and so angry that he's doing all these things and he's doing them all the wrong way. He's trying to get his message across, but he's doing it by any means necessary. I would love to do that, bring in like some muscle and stuff like that and just go on a tear. And just, and be very controversial in some of the things I say without crossing that line that's going to offend anybody. But I would love to do that. I would love to honestly turn some heads that way. So, it's kind of like how, if you ever look at Eric Young, the progression of his career, it's kind of like something like that, like where he started out getting slapped by Scott D'Amore and all this stuff. And he was comedy relief, and then boom, he flips the switch, and now he's like this maniac, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would love to do that, like where you see me as goofy, you see me as cowardly, you see me as this, you see me as that. Sooner or later, I want to flip the switch and just be a nightmare to everybody. And I think, because that's in there, I can do that.
Yeah, well, definitely that would be exciting to see. As I said, I've followed you on the indies, and you can do some very amazing things, same as when you mentioned Jake something earlier. Again, another guy. I think this is all another reason to watch Impact, because it shows that at any point, one of these guys on the roster who you might not expect if you just watch Impact to, bring it all out in the ring, it can happen at any point. There's a lot of exciting matches to be had. For example, you said, the Rascals, you guys can tear it up. I think if there was anyone that you haven't faced at all that you'd love to face, do you have that dream opponent?
As far as Impact right now, I don't know what's going on for Bound for Glory. We got Bound for Glory Saturday, October 24th. I don't know what's going on for me there. I don't know. As far as Impact roster, if Swan could get healthy, unretire, I would love to have a singles match with him. I enjoyed the stuff we did in our tag matches, and I think Swan and I can honestly do some really good work. When he was there, he would do like a Bret Hart imitation, and I would do a Steve Austin imitation, and we would just go back and forth and, just kind of talk crap to each other as like their promos. Honestly, man, if Macho Man, I would love to step in the ring with Macho Man. His intensity, that's probably my favorite wrestler of all time. I thought he was a complete package. He had the promo, he had the look, he had the ring light, the ring ability. And that's who I honestly love to pattern my style after. Very aggressive, very intense, very over the top, whether it's the facials or whether it's the promo. Savage, honestly, I would love to get Monty Brown back into Impact. I think he is severely underrated because the eyes that are on us now weren't on TNA at that time. So I think his promos alone, his pounce, his presence, I think a lot of Impact fans today and just professional wrestling fans today, if they found out who he was and what he can do, I think that, I already think he's legendary in my eyes, just and very underrated. I would have loved to get him back at the Impact ring today and just let him go off and be the alpha male. I think that'd be amazing. Yep. Now, take my XDivision title. That's something, maybe not go that far, but I would love to see him back in.
Yeah, I've watched Impact since it began, and Monty Brown would be an amazing talent to have back. You mentioned Bound for Glory. That's October 24th. That is definitely going to be worth a watch. I'm excited to see what happens in the weeks leading up to it. Rohit, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you talking to me today.
No problem, man. I appreciate you. You have a good one.
You too.